I'm 84 years old. I have 3 children. One of them speaks to me. The other 2 want nothing to do with me. And it's my fault. All of it. Every bit of it. My fault. My name is Harold Bennett. Everyone calls me Harry. I live in Detroit. Been here my whole life. I was a shop teacher for 35 years. Taught woodworking and metalworking to high school kids. I was tough on them. Rhymed my classroom like a boot camp. And I ran my home the same way. I'm not here to make excuses. I'm not here to ask for sympathy. I'm here because I made a mistake that cost me my family, and I don't want you to make the same one. So just listen, please. Just listen to what I have to say. I raised my kids the way I was raised, with discipline, with toughness, with silence where love should have been. My father never told me he loved me, not once. He never hugged me after I was about 5 or 6 years old. He believed that affection made boys soft, that the world was hard, and if you wanted your kids to survive it, you had to be harder. When I cried, he'd say, "Stop crying, or I'll give you something to cry about." When I failed at something, he'd say, "That's pathetic. Try again." When I succeeded, he'd nod and walk away. No praise, no celebration, just a nod, like I'd done the bare minimum of what was expected. And you know what? I thought that was normal. I thought that's how fathers were supposed to be. I thought he was preparing me for the real world, teaching me to be strong, making sure I could handle whatever life threw at me. So when I had my own kids, I did the same thing. Michael came first, born in 1966, then Patricia in 1969, then James, we called him Jimmy, in 1973. 3 kids, 3 chances to be a good father. And I failed every single one of them. I never said I love you. Not once. I thought they knew. I thought providing for them was enough. I worked hard. I paid the bills. I put food on the table and a roof over their heads. I showed up. Wasn't that love? Wasn't that enough? It wasn't. It wasn't even close. Let me tell you about Michael. My oldest. He was different from the other kids. Quiet. Thoughtful. Always drawing in notebooks, sketching things he saw. Teachers said he had real talent, natural ability, the kind you can't teach. But I didn't see talent. I saw a boy who wasn't practical, who wasn't thinking about the real world. Art doesn't pay the bills, I'd tell him. You think you're going to support a family with paintings? Get your head out of the clouds. Every time he showed me something he'd drawn, I'd find something wrong with it. Not good enough. The proportions are off. What is this even supposed to be? I thought I was helping him. Thought I was teaching him to handle criticism. Thought I was toughening him up for a world that wouldn't care about his feelings. In 1988, Michael came home with news. He'd been accepted to art school. Full scholarship. One of the best programs in the country. He was so excited. His eyes were shining. He thought, maybe this time his father would be proud. I told him it was a waste of time. I told him art school was for people who couldn't make it in the real world. I told him to get a degree in something practical, something that would actually pay. I told him I wouldn't support it. Not $1. We had a fight that night. The worst one we'd ever had. He said I never believed in him. I said I was trying to protect him from a lifetime of struggle. He said I was trying to control him. I said he was ungrateful. Words were said that couldn't be taken back. Wounds were made that never healed. Michael went to art school anyway. Put himself through. Worked 2 jobs. Didn't ask me for anything. And you know what? He made it. He's a successful artist now. His paintings hang in galleries. People pay thousands of dollars for his work. He proves me wrong in every way. And I've never told him I'm proud of him because he hasn't spoken to me in 12 years. I don't even have his phone number. I don't know his address. My own son, my firstborn, and I couldn't find him if I tried. That's what being right gets you. An empty chair at Christmas and a son who pretends you don't exist. My daughter Patricia, she saw what happened with Michael. She learned early to keep her distance from me. She was smart, got good grades, stayed out of trouble, but she was careful around me, guarded, like she was always waiting for the criticism. And I gave it to her. Nothing she did was quite good enough. Her grades could be better. Her room could be cleaner. Her friends weren't the right kind of people. I thought I was pushing her to excel. I was pushing her away. When she was 22, she got engaged to a boy named David. Good kid, actually. Worked as an electrician. Steady job. Treated her well. But he wasn't what I had in mind for her. I thought she could do better. I told her she was too young. I told her she was making a mistake. I told her she was throwing her life away. She married him anyway. The wedding invitation came and I almost didn't go. Ruth, my wife, she made me. She said, "Harry, she's your daughter. If you don't go to this wedding, you'll regret it for the rest of your life." So I went. But I sat in the back. I didn't smile. I didn't dance. I didn't make a speech. I just sat there, arms crossed, proving to everyone that I disapproved. When the father-daughter dance came, Patricia didn't come to get me. She danced with her uncle instead, my brother Edward. I watched my daughter dance with another man because she couldn't stand the thought of dancing with me. I should have woken up right then. I should have seen what I was doing. But I was too proud, too stubborn, too stupid. I told myself she was being dramatic, that she'd get over it, that someday she'd understand I was trying to protect her. Patricia's been married 33 years now, to that same boy I said wasn't good enough. They've raised 3 kids together. Good kids, my grandchildren. And I barely know them. I've seen them maybe a dozen times in 3 decades, because their mother can't be in the same room with me without her whole body tensing up. That's what I did to my daughter. I turned her home into a place she couldn't wait to escape. I turned myself into someone she flinches away from, and I did it all in the name of tough love. There's no such thing as tough love. There's just love, and there's tough. And I chose tough every single time. My youngest, Jimmy, he tried the hardest to please me. He was a good athlete. Football. I love football. Finally, I thought, a son who gets it. A son I can relate to. I went to every game, cheered from the stands. For once I was the dad who showed up. But even that I managed to ruin. Jimmy's senior year, big game, scouts in the stands. He had a real shot at a scholarship, and he got hit. Bad hit. Blew out his knee. Career over in one play. They carried him off the field and I could see his face. He wasn't just in physical pain. His whole future had just crumbled. That night in the hospital, Jimmy was trying not to cry. He kept blinking, jaw tight, trying to hold it together. And I thought, good, he's being strong. I was proud of him for not breaking down. But then Ruth, my wife, she sat down next to him and pulled him into her arms. And he just lost it. Started sobbing. All that pain he'd been holding in came flooding out. And Ruth held him, stroked his hair, told him it was going to be okay, that she loved him no matter what. And me, I walked out of the room. I couldn't watch it. I thought he was being weak. I thought Ruth was coddling him. I stood in the hallway and waited for them to finish. When I came back in, I looked at my son, his face still wet with tears, and I said, "Toughen up, Jimmy. Life doesn't care about your feelings. The sooner you learn that, the better." Jimmy didn't say anything. He just looked at me, and something in his eyes changed that night. Something closed off, the same thing that had closed off in Michael and Patricia years before. Jimmy's 51 now. He's the only one at my kids who still talks to me. He visits once a month, calls once a week, but there's a distance between us that I created. When he looks at me, I can still see that 17-year-old boy in a hospital bed, the one whose father walked away when he needed him most. Jimmy forgave me. At least he says he has. But you don't forget something like that. You don't forget your father telling you to toughen up when your whole world just fell apart. That stays with you. That becomes part of who you are. And I put it there. I planted that seed of hurt in my own son's heart. Because I was too proud, too scared, too broken to just hold him and tell him I loved him. My wife Ruth, she was the warmth in our family. She was everything I wasn't, soft where I was hard. patient where I was, demanding, loving where I was cold. She hugged the kids when I wouldn't. She told them she loved them every single day. She celebrated their small victories, dried their tears, listened to their problems, and she begged me to change. For years, she begged me. Harry, she'd say, they need to hear it from you too. They need their father to tell them he loves them. They need hugs. They need praise. I can't be the only one giving them that. And I'd say, Ruth, they know I love them. I don't need to say it. I provide for them. I show up. That should be enough. It wasn't enough. It was never enough. And Ruth knew it. She spent our entire marriage trying to bridge the gap between me and our children. She called them when I wouldn't. She apologized for me behind my back. She made excuses for my coldness, my criticism, my silence. She held our family together with her bare hands, and I didn't even see it. I took her for granted, just like I took everything for granted. In 2018, Ruth got sick. Cancer. By the time they found it, it had spread. The doctors gave her months. Maybe a year if we were lucky. Those last months, I watched the strongest woman I'd ever known grow weaker every day, and I was useless. I didn't know how to take care of her the way she'd taken care of everyone else. I didn't know how to be soft, how to be tender, how to hold someone who was dying and tell them everything was going to be okay. Ruth knew she was dying, and in her final weeks, she said something to me that I'll never forget. She grabbed my hand, looked me in the eyes and said, Harry, please, fix it. Fix things with the kids. Don't end up alone. Promise me you'll try. I promised her. I held her hand, and I promised. She died 3 days later. At the funeral, I expected all 3 of my children to be there. I expected us to grieve together, to hold each other, to be a family, at least for one day. Michael didn't come. My oldest son, my firstborn, didn't come to his own mother's funeral. He sent a card. 4 words. Sorry for your loss. That's it. That's all I got from a son I hadn't spoken to in 6 years. Patricia came, but she sat in the back row like a stranger. She barely looked at me. When it was over, she hugged Jimmy, said something to a few relatives, and left. Didn't say goodbye to me. Didn't offer condolences. Just walked out the door like she couldn't get away fast enough. Only Jimmy stayed. He stood next to me at the grave. He helped me with the arrangements. He drove me home afterward and sat with me in the empty living room while I tried to understand what had just happened. Finally, I asked him. I said, Jimmy, why? Why didn't they come? Why don't they want anything to do with me? I gave them everything I had. And Jimmy looked at me with those sad, tired eyes and said, Dad, you gave them everything except love. You gave them everything except the one thing they actually needed. And sitting there in that empty house, in the silence Ruth had left behind, I finally understood. I finally saw myself the way my children saw me. Not as a provider, not as a protector, as a cold, critical, distant man who never said, I love you, who never hugged them, who never celebrated their dreams or dried their tears, who pushed them away every time they reached for connection. Ruth had been the bridge, and when she died, the bridge collapsed. There was nothing left connecting me to the children I had failed. That was 6 years ago. I've been alone ever since. The phone doesn't ring. The door doesn't open. Christmas comes and goes without a visitor. Birthdays pass without a card. I have 7 grandchildren. I've held 2 of them. There are 5 children with my blood running through their veins who don't know my name. I have 3 great-grandchildren. I've met one. The others will grow up never knowing I existed. And that's my legacy. That's what being tough got me. 2 years ago, I wrote letters, one to Michael, one to Patricia. I apologized for everything. I took full responsibility. I told them I was wrong. I told them I loved them. Words I should have said 1,000 times decades ago. I told them I understood if they couldn't forgive me, but I needed them to know. Michael never responded. Nothing. Not a word. It's been 2 years, and I still check the mailbox every day, hoping. Every day, the same disappointment. Patricia wrote back, One paragraph. She said, I appreciate the letter. I need more time. That was 2 years ago. I'm still waiting. I'm 84 years old, and I'm still waiting. I may die before they forgive me, and I'll deserve it. I'll deserve to leave this world without ever hearing my children say they love me again, because I never gave them reason to. If you're watching this and you're a parent, please hear me. I'm not asking for pity. I'm asking you to learn from my failure. I'm begging you not to make my mistake. Your children don't need you to toughen them up. The world will do that. The world is hard enough. What your children need is a safe place to land when the world knocks them down. They need arms that hold them, words that heal them, a voice that says, I love you, I'm proud of you, I believe in you. They need a parent, not a drill sergeant. I thought love was weakness. I thought affection made children soft. I was so wrong. Love is the only thing that matters. It's the only thing they'll remember when you're gone. Not the money you made, not the lessons you taught, not the discipline you enforced. They'll remember how you made them feel. And I made my children feel small, criticized, unloved. Don't wait until you're 84 and alone to figure this out. Don't wait until your wife dies and your children don't show up to the funeral. Don't wait until you're writing letters that may never be answered. Tell them today. Hold them today. Say the words out loud. I love you. I'm proud of you. You matter to me. Say it even when it feels awkward. Say it even when they're being difficult. Say it every single day until they're sick of hearing it. Because one day, one of you won't be here anymore. And the words you never said will echo in that empty space forever. I sit in this house alone now. Ruth's chair is still across from mine. The photos on the wall show a family that used to exist. Children who used to live here. Grandchildren I'll never watch grow up. And I have no one to blame but myself. I broke my family with my coldness. I destroyed my relationships with my pride. And now I live with the consequences. Every day. Every long, quiet, lonely day. Don't make my mistake. Please, I'm begging you, don't end up like me. If this meant something to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. A parent who might be too hard on their kids. A father who thinks providing is enough. Share it before they make the same mistake I did. Leave a comment and tell me you're going to call your children today. Tell me you're going to say the words. I need to know this meant something. I need to know my failure helped someone else succeed. And subscribe, because I have more to say while I'm still here. More mistakes I made. More lessons I learned too late. The clock is ticking, for me, for you, for everyone. Tell them you love them, today, right now, while they still want to hear it.